Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/am I the asshole for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the post, giving you my thoughts and opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. MK15. Am I the asshole for not telling my mother-in-law what my sister-in-law said? I, 30 female, have a sister-in-law, Riley, 14 female. I've been in her life since the day she was born, and we're very close. Riley is going through a bit of a difficult stage right now. Lots of fighting with her parents and not always making the best choices. So, I took Riley out for some girl time. We had some sweets and I got her to tell me about what she's feeling. This is nothing new. She often opens up to me about things that she doesn't tell others. I didn't tell her what to do. I just gave her somebody to talk to about everything she's feeling. There was nothing concerning or alarming in what Riley told me. So, I did not repeat her words to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is mad about this. She says that she has a right to know what's going on in her daughter's life and that I need to tell her. I explained that she didn't say anything alarming or concerning, it was just teenage girl stuff. And I'm not going to break Riley's trust by repeating it. Mother-in-law says I'm the adult and I shouldn't be playing the secret game with her daughter. Am I the asshole for not telling my mother-in-law what my sister-in-law said? So unless it is something concerning or alarming, like OP carved out, anything that Riley tells you that's told in confidence should probably stay with them, because that's them actually having an outlet and them having a way to actually speak to someone about the problems going on in their life. Something tells me they probably don't have access to therapy. And if they did, I can only imagine that the mother would probably want to sit in on the therapy sessions and be privy to all the information being said to the therapist, despite that not being the point of therapy. Riley definitely needs that kind of outlet to be able to speak to someone about the problems they're having in their life and having someone that they can talk to in confidence, especially if it's about their parents. And as long as OP is providing constructive conversations about what Riley's talking about and trying to give them solutions and help and trying to help them grow and develop and not just being a yes man for everything they say, then there's nothing wrong with this. This is actually really, really good for Riley to have. Especially because it sounds like if anything concerning did pop up, that would actually be brought to the attention of the mother-in-law. I was actually kind of hoping to find a "you're the asshole" comment and seeing what it would say, but there were only 11 comments on this post, and 5,000 plus upvotes, and every comment is just not the asshole. So, thankfully, no one to drag through the mud this time, or perhaps disappointingly, no one to drag through the mud this time. Okay, so buckle in. What have I done? F. Am I the asshole for saying my cousin's intellectual disability is probably because of the incest? Throwaway account, cause I'm mortified. My 21 female parents had a get-together lunch among close family members last Sunday. Me and my cousins were adding wedding dates from the piling invites to the calendars to make sure we don't miss any. I was joking about never understanding the familial ties in our native language, as in how you call cousins or aunts, or just the word in our language, as I was used to learning those words in English. My grandma, through my mother, was joking about how I'm being too Western, and was helping me connect how I was related to the people in the invites. 4 invites in, me, on a roll with being too loose-mouthed from all the food I was eating, asked my dad how the father of the bride in the invite was related to him. He said cousin. And I should have stopped there, but did I? No. I was bored, so I asked him to detail it more. He said, well, the bride's grandfather and his mother are siblings. He paused and added well, I would also be his, bride's father, uncle too. Now listen, I know incest used to be a thing, I know it used to happen, I didn't know it happened in mine. So I grimaced and started laughing uncomfortably. My uncle started explaining more, seeing my disgust. Long story short, my grandfather is my grandmother's uncle. My grandmother's mother and my grandmother are half-siblings. I edited from step to half-siblings. I made a mistake in the wording. So, my grandfather's dad and grandmother's grandfather are the same person. Me and my cousin started making those gagging noises while pushing the invites away and grimacing while walking around and our parents tried overcompensating with excuses. I know they don't owe explanation for the choices of their parents and the others preceding them. The generation above mine share the sentiment that incest is a big no. I don't know why they kept defending it, but yeah. Here is where I said something fucked. I asked my dad if he realizes that his grandfather and his mother's grandfather are the same person. I added it with, children born from incest have higher chances of intellectual disabilities, right? My cousin added, explains why my brother has that. And I immediately started nodding and said, exactly. My cousin does have mental disability and is nonverbal. Both me and my cousin were screamed at and told to come back home later. I know it is fucked to say that, but me and my cousin were just getting more and more uncomfortable. We came back later and apologized, but my uncle and aunt refused to speak to me and my cousin. So, am I the asshole for saying that my cousin's intellectual disability is probably because of the incest? Edit, adding this information from the confusion in the comments. I sent this to my cousin and he asked me to add some more information. 1. They are blood related. I worded the post wrongly by using step-siblings. My grandmother's mother and grandfather are half-siblings with the same father. 2. One main reason for the disgust was me and my cousin already knew that my grandmother was 18 when my grandfather was in his early 40s when they got married. The age gap with the added knowledge that they are related was one of the main issues. Another reason why I spoke on it was because last September, we attended a wedding where the couple were second cousins and had blood relations, so while my parents and their cousins have moved away from this, others in our family still commit incest. This was why I made the comment on intellectual disability from my parents defending it, while incest is a thing in the larger family circle. 4. I understand that I was being an asshole, and so does my cousin. Update. My cousin and I, since posting this, have talked to his parents about the incident. We apologized for the comments, and we're good. I just have to address this. Me and my cousin weren't mocking our brother for the disability. My cousin's parents were hurt because the way it all went down made it look like we were blaming them. Me and my cousin apologized and said that we were more hung up on what happened between our grandparents and my dad excusing it. We made it clear that we knew they were never at fault and apologized again. I had also mentioned about the wedding we attended recently being incestual and about intellectual disabilities, which led to my cousin making the comment about his brother. I love my cousin, and the cousin who made the comments definitely loves his brother. My uncle and his aunt know that. My cousin is the closest person to him. My cousin has also gotten in multiple fights with other family members over comments they made about his brother over the years. Both of us went too far with our comments, and his parents understood that it spiraled at the heat of the moment. My uncle at the end jokingly added that, as a punishment, me and my cousin should be attending all the weddings we get invites for because both of us have a habit of skipping them. We are fine, but thanks for the comments. A lot of the criticisms that I would have had seem to be squared away in the update/edits there. How many of you are watching Fallout Season 2 out of curiosity? I won't talk about spoilers, but in the first episode, this is weirdly topical because of the kind of throwaway gag of the incest support group they make for the Vault Dwellers, and just... But so far, I'm enjoying Season 2, and I'm glad this post at least had a good update in the end of it. But still, not a fun scenario. It's Brittany, bitch. Am I the asshole for asking my ex-husband's girlfriend to stop posting our kids on social media? I, 33 female, have asked multiple times that my ex-husband, 32 male, ask his girlfriend to stop posting our kids on social media. Every ask has been met with lots of conflict and arguing. My favorite line is him claiming I'm being controlling. Here's some backstory for y'all. We were together for 11 years, married for 6. We have 2 kids together, and he helps raise my oldest. We've been separated since last Halloween and divorced fully since May. Ex-husband and his girlfriend have been together since February. She met my kids about 10 days after she met him and has been in their lives ever since. They live together, and she seems to really love my kids. I don't really have a problem with her, except she continues to post my kids on social media with captions that make me and my family members extremely uncomfortable. I don't post my kids on social media often, and when I do, It's a couple of pictures and it's private, just fun updates for long-distance family. She's posting 60 to 70 pictures at a time and frequently with captions like, "Our girls." She also doesn't like that I post about the things my ex-husband did to me through our relationship, so she has my Facebook blocked, so most of these posts are being shown to me by close family and friends who see it and are uncomfortable. My ex-husband thinks I'm just trying to be controlling and refuses to do anything about it. Am I the asshole for asking these posts to be removed and for her to stop posting them? Definitely not the asshole for wanting your kids to not be posted on social media, but I don't know how much recourse you actually have, so I would probably consult with a family lawyer or someone who specializes in that kind of law. It's definitely uncomfortable that someone who's been dating your husband for potentially only 10 months is captioning things as "our girls," and it's photos of your children. Unfortunately, though, I don't know how this would go over in a family court if it's brought before a judge and he sees one parent not wanting the kids on social media and the other parent not caring if the kids are on social media. I don't know if the judge would be like, you know what? When they're at your house, you have control, but when they're with your husband, you can't do shit. Or if it would be a total ban on kids being posted on social media in that family altogether. I just don't know how it would go over, unfortunately. Cold Atmosphere 2497. Am I the asshole for wanting to know in advance when my mother-in-law wants to take our son overnight? I am at a standstill with my husband on this topic. I cannot ask my friends or family members for advice because my husband says it is a biased opinion. For the past 2 years, my mother-in-law picks up our son from daycare on Fridays and keeps him overnight. She has always told us to assume I'm taking him for the past 6 months. It has become a common occurrence on Wednesday or Thursday. She will text us that she will not be taking him this weekend. I have expressed to my husband that this is frustrating because we are unable to actually make plans as I do not know for sure that she is taking him until late into the week. I have asked my husband to speak to her about this a few months now, as whenever I confront her with something that regards our child, she dismisses me and will go straight to him anyways. Well, I decided to take action on my own accord as he told me to just talk to her myself. We have a group chat via Facebook, so we're all on the same page, as in the past there has been he said, she said situations which happen often. She had texted on Wednesday that she would not be taking our son for the next 2 weekends, which prompted me to address the issue. I sent the message as follows. "Thank you for letting us know. I was actually going to talk to you about that. We appreciate you taking him so much and being able to spend time with him. I would just really appreciate more advance notice so I can plan things. Therefore, moving forward, we're going to assume you are not taking him unless you reach out and say you are, which we would prefer to know at the beginning of the week." She did not respond or react to the message, just left me on read. In the past, this behavior has led to me to know she is pissed and disagrees. Instead of coming to me to discuss, she will avoid it altogether. 3 weeks went by, with no contact. Finally, my husband calls her to discuss the plans for Christmas as it is a week away. She expresses that my message made her feel as if she's a babysitter, and it's unreasonable to let us know by Monday if she is or is not taking him. She would like us to just let her know when we have plans in advance like she does. My husband tried to explain my point of view, as of course they were on the phone while he was out shopping and I was at home with our son. When he came home, he told me what she said, and I instantly got angry. He said he thought about it and is in agreement with her, as things are going to come up where she cannot take him. I said yes, that is why it would be nice to know in advance when she is definitely taking him, which he rebuted with, that doesn't give her the opportunity to back out if she has a crappy week at work. I told him we should just all talk together, although from past incidents it usually leads to him agreeing with her and I'm stuck complying. Am I overreacting? What would be a good compromise? This one's kind of a bit weird because on one hand I can 100% see how wonderful it would be to have essentially free childcare on Friday nights so you and your husband can do what you would like. But on the other hand, it also means that you don't really have time to plan to do things with your child on Friday nights or have that opportunity to do things on Friday nights with your kid. And I can see the want and desire of, hey, can you let us know in advance if you are or are not going to be picking up our child from daycare so we can make plans with or without him? I think that's a pretty reasonable request, because a big aspect of this is that it does kind of give the impression, to me at least, that the mother-in-law feels as though she has the same, if not more, rights to the child than OP and her husband do. I get this impression from the fact that the mother-in-law has stated that unless specified otherwise, to always assume that she will be taking him. And in addition, getting further advanced is a major inconvenience because what if I have a bad week at work? I feel like a good middle-of-the-line compromise would be just simply having it so that way at the beginning of the week, she says whether or not she intends to take her grandson or not. And if she does have a bad week at work that might affect her ability of enjoying time with her grandson, then she can just simply opt out and be like, hey, this week is just simply not the week for me. And vice versa. Maybe if her plans fall through, she can then ask on Thursday or Friday, hey, are there any plans with your son this weekend? And if not, can I maybe take him Friday? I feel like there is indeed a lot of compromise to be made, and I can also understand the mother-in-law not wanting to feel like a free babysitter. But it also does come across that OP is kind of in a position where their opinion just doesn't matter because it's always going to be a 2v1, and if they want to get outside opinions, it's, well, you can't do that because it's a biased opinion. Like, that sucks. So it's either in the husband's eyes, OP gets a biased opinion, which honestly in my eyes just tells me that he knows that he's in the wrong here and doesn't want it to be confirmed to his wife, and chalks it off as being a biased opinion. Or she's always going to be locked in a 2 versus 1 where the son is always going to agree with his mother, and the wife is going to have to then be on the defense every single time. That's not a good situation to be in. That's not fair. What is actually pretty crazy though is the comments are just spread all over the fucking place. We've got not the asshole, you're the asshole, no assholes here, everyone sucks here. It is the whole shebang. And it's not even like, you got a few you're the assholes here, but it's mostly not the assholes with some here and there. It is a pretty even distribution. It's actually kind of crazy. Like on one side we have people saying, not the asshole, if anyone told me to assume they're taking my child, I'd cut contact immediately. Or, yeah, I can understand your point. 2 days notice when dealing with a kid is definitely not enough time. Then we have other people of, you should be grateful, 2 days notice is more than enough time. And we have no assholes here where, yeah, I can see both sides, you guys just need to sit down and communicate. And then the everyone sucks here comments are just kind of the, yeah, you guys need to sit down here and communicate, because both of you suck. I am going to be very damn curious to see how the comments are divided on this one. MD Whodunit69. Am I the asshole for implying my coworker was irresponsible? Some background. I, 35 female, work as a night shift custodian at my local high school. Most of my coworkers are actually pretty cool, except for one. This one dude, we'll call him Bill, 25 male, is constantly glued to his phone, which he keeps the volume turned up without headphones, even when he's working. Bill cuts corners, lies about work he's done, rants about politics to anyone too polite to tell him to go away, and is completely unaware of his surroundings due to his face always being glued to his phone. The kids were out for school, so we all took advantage and did some deep cleaning of the school while there were no kids. Another coworker had just mopped the cafeteria with a product that works like floor wax, in that you have to let it dry before you can walk on it. Bill was just walking around the school with his face in his phone and walked right across it while it was wet, leaving footprints and causing the other coworker to have to go over it again quickly before it dried with footprints in it. That's just one example of the piece of work he is. Another piece of background, he and his sister, let's call her Carol, 22 female, live with their dad. She's 22 and works harder than he does. Info. One of our roommates is moving out in February, so we have a room opening up. I asked Carol if she wanted to move in with us, and she turned it down, stating that she can't because she helps their dad with the bills and keeping the house running because her brother won't. Her words. Knowing all this and my own personal experience with Bill, I already have a little resentment because Carol is a sweetheart, and I hate that she's in that position. Anyway, onto the story. So we were all on rest and Carol makes some comment about some responsibility she has that week. I don't remember what, I think it had something to do with laundry. Then Bill made some comment about her doing her house jobs or something, I don't remember exactly. I only remember that I couldn't stop myself from saying something this time. Before I could talk myself out of it, I blurted out to him, "Why is your 22-year-old sister more responsible than you?" His response, "Because I was never told how to do anything. I was told just to figure it out." That comment only made me resent him more because that just sounds like an excuse. Like, Then why the hells didn't you ever figure out how to do anything? He lives with his dad and sister and basically lets them do everything for him. What does he do with his time and money? Video games, gambling, and binging the news on the very phone he's constantly glued to. I meant what I said, and it did feel good at the time, but I'm still regretting it because 1, I learned more about who he is that I didn't want to know, and 2, I still have to work with this dude, and I don't want this to affect how we work together. I'm starting to think I should have kept my mouth shut. So, I'm wondering, am I the asshole? Some additional comments. Flumph comments. You have got to let the personal stuff go. I'm leaning with a slight you're the asshole. If Bill isn't doing his job properly and his stuff affects others, like the footprint thing, you need to bring it up with your boss. The interpersonal family stuff and what Bill does with his free time and money is really none of your business and is clearly impacting your work-life balance. OP responds, who received negative 83 downvotes for this one. You're right, it is none of my business, which is why I didn't say anything before now. But it does make me worry for Carol and how his behavior affects her work-life balance. I probably shouldn't care, but she's a sweetheart, and I hate the home situation she's currently in because of him. User Yearly Depression comments, I am solely judging the comment you made, not the greater situation. Everyone sucks here. Bill sounds like a terrible coworker and possibly a terrible brother. But your comment didn't help anything. It didn't help Carol. It didn't change Bill. It was completely unnecessary and will only make your working relationship worse. I'm not saying you should apologize. That would just bring more attention to it. But moving forward, I would avoid personal remarks and insults. If he continues with his lazy behavior, he hopefully won't be your coworker for too much longer. OP responds, with 12 upvotes this time. Good idea. I try to keep out of his way to avoid interacting with him so I don't do or say something stupid like I did today. But I obviously can't avoid him completely. Maybe I'll start forcing myself to zone out when he starts talking. Hopefully that'll help. User FickleCabinet3956 comments, more info. Did you ask him this question while you were at work? OP responds, unfortunately, yes. It's the only time I ever see him, and I'd prefer to keep it that way if I can. Usually when he's being, well, him, I'm able to hold my tongue. I've had the question before, but never voiced it before today. Fickle Cabinet responds, okay, I'm judging you strictly from a professional context, and due to that, you're the asshole. Your comment was unprofessional. Having said that, I understand why you're frustrated and annoyed. We've all had that coworker or subordinate. Yes, they suck, and those types of coworkers/employees tear down the morale of the workplace. Unfortunately, they are still protected by the union. I'm surprised the phone issue isn't addressed by your boss or supervisor, as it's a major liability/safety issue. Whoever is responsible to view the cams on campus should be in some hot water if your coworker is ever injured while on the job, and him being on his phone while on the clock isn't addressed. That is the primary purpose of the radio/walkie-talkies, to keep the phone usage to your breaks. So, because the comment was made in a professional standpoint, that does put OP's comment in the wrong, but the general situation is just pretty interpersonal, but I do think that Bill is definitely an asshole here as well. Sounds like there's a lot more going on here and a lot of information that we're not privy to, but OP is specifically asking about the comment they made, which because it was in a professional workplace environment, this does make them the asshole. Hitchin' a Ride 2025. Am I the asshole for revoking my girlfriend's car privileges? My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for about 3 years. We've lived together for the past 6 months. A couple of months ago, my girlfriend's car broke down and the repair estimate was really high. Given that her car was over 10 years old, she decided not to repair it, and to start saving for a new one. I agreed with her decision and told her we could make it work with sharing my car until she gets a new one. This past weekend, I had to work on Saturday to put the finishing touches on a big presentation for Monday. When I told my girlfriend about it on Friday night, she asked if she could use my car to go see a friend while I was at work. I told her as long as she drops me off and picks me up when I'm done, that was fine. She dropped me off at my office and I told her I would text her when I was finishing up so she can come get me. She told me that was fine. It ended up taking my coworkers and I about 3 hours to finish what we had to do. I texted my girlfriend that we were almost done and asked if she could come get me. She said she would be on her way in a few since she was only 15 minutes or so away. As we were locking up the office, my coworkers asked if I needed a ride, and I told them my girlfriend was on her way to get me, so they left to go home. 30 minutes pass and my girlfriend isn't there yet, so I text again to see where she's at. She doesn't respond, so I figure she's driving. 45 minutes and she's still not there or answering my text, so I gave her a call and no answer. At this point, I'm getting pretty frustrated. Finally, over an hour after she responded to my first text, she pulls into the parking lot. She immediately starts apologizing and making excuses for why she was late. She said her friend is going through a hard time and they got caught up talking and she lost track of time. I told her that she could have told me that when I texted her and I could have gotten a ride with my coworker, or she could have responded to my text or answered my call so I wasn't sitting there wondering what the fuck was going on. She just kept repeating that she lost track of time and was sorry. I told her that I think it's pretty messed up that she was using my car and agreed to pick me up and drop the ball so badly. I told her that until she gets her own car, she doesn't get to use mine for anything other than work. No using my car to go get her nails or hair done. No taking my car to see friends, etc. If she wants to do that stuff, she has to use the bus or Uber. She told me I'm overreacting and that it was just one time and that her friend really needed someone to talk to. She said she already has plans for this coming week that she needs the car for, and I told her, too bad. She told me I'm being a jerk and that I wasn't even waiting for that long. She has asked a couple of times to take the car since then, and I've refused to give her the keys. Now she's pissed at me for not giving in. Edit. Because people have been asking about her friend's situation, her friend is currently separated from her husband and moving towards divorce. She also recently found out that her cat has inoperable cancer and is probably going to have to be put down. So yes, serious stuff, but not life or death, and certainly not an emergency. And for anyone thinking she was with someone else, no, my girlfriend is terrible with directions and her friend's house was the most recent destination in my nav system. She could seriously get lost in a parking ramp, so I have no reason to believe she drove anywhere other than her friend's place. See, if it was like 10 minutes late, with updates via text message of like, I'm so sorry, my friend and I's conversation went on for longer than I thought it did, but I'm currently on my way, I'll be there very soon. Or any kind of update, so that way the boyfriend isn't just sitting in the parking lot for an entire hour wondering what the hell is going on, and having to think, oh shit, well, she said she was on her way an hour ago. Did she get into an accident? Did she get into a wreck? What's going on here? Only to find out that no, when she said she was leaving, she never did, and the conversation went on for God knows how much longer, and when she did leave, there were no updates to be provided. It was just kind of a show up and ask for forgiveness situation. Hell, even if at the beginning she just texted and explained the situation and asked if he could get an Uber or something home, while inconvenient as hell, would have been a better alternative than him waiting for an hour with no update or response. After all, it is his car. She's the one choosing not to get her car repaired. She's the one choosing to save it for a new car. And she's the one who showed that she's unreliable with his car. What I will say though in regards to OP is to definitely at least have a conversation with her. I probably wouldn't have done one strike you're out. I probably would have at least drawn out the fact of, yeah, it really fucking sucks you just left me in the parking lot for an hour with no communication. And leaving me to think, did you get into an accident? Did something bad happen? Only to find out you just never responded to my text messages by choice. OP is still allowing her to use the car for essential things like work, so it's mostly just for play that it's being revoked. But also, under the words of using revoked, that for some reason that doesn't quite sit right with me. Saying you're revoking someone's privileges makes it sound like you're dealing with a teenage daughter and not your significant other, but that's just more of my brain there. I don't know if anyone else has that same kind of connection.
Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.